Hey y'all. So I put up a real life situation that I'm like literally going through today, right now. Well, not really right now, but I want to tell y'all how I resolved the situation and like what actually happened. Let me see. Can I tag people? You. I don't know how to work this. It's all different now. But real life, I want to tell y'all what happened today and explain what I did and how we resolved it without Airbnb, mind you. Um, y'all, I always tell people like just having stuff, plans in order, just in case something like this were to happen. And like you think it would happen with people that are staying longer than 30 days. They would try to squat in your unit, and what happens when they don't want to leave, because I promise you, just as much as you can do virtually on the phone and on the computer, that's all Airbnb can do. If you have a situation where somebody's trying to squat, Airbnb is not going to help you. Airbnb is not going to help you as much as you think that they would. And I wanted to explain the situation, how we got it resolved, how we got the people or the person to leave. Okay, so this morning, started my day off great. Got up. I had a team meeting with my partner and our assistants. And come on in, y'all. Let me know that you're here to share this with somebody that is in Airbnb or thinking about getting Airbnbs. Okay. So had our meeting this morning with our team. I went and I worked out. And I came back home and I'm working. Hey, Donna. I'm going to give you a whole nother name. And so I'm working and I get a call from my cleaner and she's like, hey, your guest here is saying that they're not supposed to leave until tomorrow. Did you let them extend their stay? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. They need to be gone. In fact, hey Donna, in fact, we actually have a same day arrival that's coming at 3. So at this point it's like 11:30. And I'm like, she needs to leave, Her husband or whoever she's with, he didn't extend, and their reservation is over. So my cleaner, at this point, I hang up from my cleaner. I start calling the person who made the reservation, which was her husband. There were supposed to be 2 guests here. The husband's phone is going straight to voicemail. Okay, hey Niva. And I'm messaging on Airbnb. He's not responding. And so I'm like, oh, Lord. Okay. And so then I do as I'm supposed to, right? I contact Airbnb to make them aware of the situation and let them know what's going on, and see what they can do. But the same measures that I'm going to take, that's all they're going to do. They're going to reach out to the guest, right? I already reached out to the guest via phone. His phone is going to voicemail. I left a message. You can text them. I didn't bother text him. I sent the message on Airbnb. He never responded. So I'm on the phone with Airbnb trying to see how they can help get it resolved. Long story short, I'm still waiting on them to help get it resolved. And mind you, the new guest will be arriving right now down to that unit. So I ended up hanging up from Airbnb. They said a rep would call me back. Still haven't received my call back. And so luckily, I have contacts and I have additional units. And so I called my cleaner back and she's like, well, I just cleaned your 2-bedroom. I know they only wanted a 1-bedroom, but we can put them over there if nobody is coming. This guest that's coming is only staying for 2 days. So I said, oh yeah, he can go to that unit. So let me reach out. She made sure everything was good after she cleaned it already. Just to check. She's awesome, like top notch. So I reached out to the guest that was coming and let him know that we have, just being transparent, like, hey, the unit that you're supposed to go in, we're having an issue with the guest. She hasn't left on time. And so we don't disrupt your trip. I'm going to put you into another unit. It's a bigger unit. It's a 2-bedroom at no additional cost to you. I hope that that's okay. If so, I'm going to change the reservation so you can have access to everything you need, like the Wi-Fi information, how to access the unit. And so I sent the message and then sent the request to change his reservation just to another unit. right? He responded right back and he's like, oh, thank you, no problem. I hope, everything works out fine. He's done. He's fine, right? So follow back up with the guests that are supposed to be leaving that are still not gone. And at this point, it was like 1:30. Called again, no response, and sent them another message on Airbnb, no response. He is not there. His wife is there in the unit, right? He is long gone. So I'm like, oh gosh. At this point, I'm like, I feel bad for her because I'm like, something is going on. Like, where's your husband? Right? And so before I can call the police, talk to my cleaner. What happened? Okay. So I talked to my cleaner and she's like, you know what? I'm going to go back over there so you can talk to him before you call the police. Because I was just going to call the police to just kind of go and check, make sure everything was okay. Like, I don't know if they had a fight or, I don't know what's going on, right? You don't know what is going on inside of the unit, right? And so my cleaner is like, let me go knock on the door before you call the police to check on them. Because it's supposed to be two people and we're only interacting with the wife at this point. I'm like, his phone is going to voicemail. He's not responding. Like you watch TV and the news like I do. You never really know what is going on, right? So she's like, let me go back over there and I'll just knock on the door. If someone answers, I'll let you talk to him. So she knocked on the door and it's the wife again. And apparently she didn't come outright and say it. But I believe her and her husband had gotten into some type of argument. I don't know if it was physical. And so I'm speaking to the wife on speakerphone and she's like, Evan told me we have the unit until tomorrow. I am so sorry. We're packing up and so my cleaner is like, when she's putting the stuff in her car, like her car is all keyed up and messed up. And so her and her husband had some type of argument and he probably just left her there. She had no access to the app to see when they actually, like how many days they were supposed to be there. She's just going off supposedly what he told her is that they had the unit until tomorrow morning to Tuesday morning. And so she really didn't know that she was supposed to be leaving. So we felt kind of bad for her, but I'm like, you guys didn't pay for another day, so I'm sorry, but unfortunately you'll have to leave. Right, drama. And yes, my cleaner is great. And I also, as this was happening, I reached out to my handyman to kind of let him know we may need you to kind of go over there as backup for her. Right. So if she's going back over there, I don't really, because you never know what is going on. Right. But having people on the ground. And sometimes having a male presence if there is another male. Just so, people try to take over, like run over women sometime. And so I kind of put him on alert and let him know what was going on before I even reached out to Airbnb. Mind you, I'm still, right now it's 4 here, my time. All of this started like 11:30. Airbnb has not called back and said anything. Nothing. Right. So that is just what to let you guys know, because people are like always afraid of like the squatters. These people were only here for 3 days. They only booked for 3 days. And, it was kind of like an honest mistake mixed with a little bit of drama. But like, it is great to have somebody on the ground that has your back, that's going to be there to help you. And like literally our cleaner like saved the day. Right? Because she could have just said, well, they still in there. They not ready for me to clean it. Y'all, you figure that out. But she didn't. Right? So me and her were communicating the entire time. We got the other guest that was arriving today into another unit. And so he's squared away. He doesn't have to deal with this drama. But even if I didn't have something that was available, I communicate and know other hosts that are in the area and could have easily reached out to one of them and connected with them on Airbnb for them to change his reservation to another unit. Right? So I know a lot of other hosts down in the Texas, Houston area. So he wouldn't have been out of a stay, right? I might have missed some money, but on the back end, I can just charge it to the guest that didn't leave, right, on time. Because if they're leaving late, whether it be 12:30, at this point it was like 1:30 and she was packing up her stuff and leaving, we wouldn't have adequate time to get that unit prepared by 3 p.m. Yeah. you have to have a great team. We wouldn't have adequate time to get that unit prepared by 3 p.m. So the other guests will have to wait. And one thing I do not do and do not advise, even if you have someone that leaves late, never, ever, ever allow a guest to come in to a dirty unit. Never. Right? I've had people, mentees or, some of our clients, they had an issue with the cleaning and the person was like, oh, well, let me just drop my bags off. No. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever. It's just like if you go into a hotel room and it's dirty, it's dirty. I don't care how much you clean it, how many people you have in there cleaning it. In my mind, it is dirty. And I always tell people, like nurses, right, to kind of pose it with that. If you go into a patient room and you see vomit on the floor, even if the beds are clean, they tucked in, it looks clean. If you walk into a room and you see vomit on the floor, what are you going to think? The room is dirty. The room is dirty. So that's one thing, like even if the new guest had arrived and like he is like, oh, let me just put my bags up. No, no. So I'm glad that we were able to get him squared away into another unit, right? So he doesn't have to deal with this late guest that's not checking out. But I just wanted to also tell you guys, like literally it is 4 p.m. This started at 11:30 a.m. Airbnb has not reached out to us and said anything to resolve anything. Okay? So literally it was just critical thinking, having a team, working together for us to solve it and get it figured out. I really, really believe that the woman had no malintent. Like she really didn't know that they didn't have the unit an extra day. Her and her husband got into some type of argument. There were some, I don't know if those scratches was new or old, but her car was all keyed up and he was not there and he was not even answering the phone for his wife. So that's what happened. It wasn't all drama filled like I thought it was going to be. When she called me, I was like, oh my God. Like, what in the hell? But she left with no problem. She packed up her stuff and, I think she just legit thought she was supposed to be staying till Tuesday when she wasn't. So that is what happened. And anywhere you go, like, don't let this make you afraid to host remotely in a place that's out of state or out of town for you. Wherever you go, build a team, get to know people, talk to people, and take care of people. Right? My daddy always say, when you take care of people, people will take care of you. Our cleaner did not have to go and above and beyond like she did to help in this situation. Like I told her, I didn't want her putting herself in any compromising situations where you could potentially get hurt. But she went above and beyond to help us out. We also had other people that were ready to go over and not like rah, let me put you out, but like legit just check and make sure you guys are good, because you never know like what people are doing in your units. Like y'all see, just the news and like Jeffrey Dahmer is like popular right now, but like a regular person could be like a serial killer. So I'm like, I never want to put myself or even anybody else in those situations. But sometimes you might have to put people out your units. And like, how do you do that safely? So like, if that means me calling the police and just having someone walk with them to go and knock on their door, I don't mind doing that. Like, this is not to be mean, but it's for safety. Right? So I don't want you guys to be scared. Whatever city that you go in, just build a team. Talk to people. That's why I like to interview my cleaners in person if I can, to kind of feel them out. Like I'm a empath, so I can like feel energy, right? If you're a good person. And so I like to do like in-person interviews with my cleaners. Handyman, if I can get them, like if they're coming to mount a TV or change a lock or do whatever, just having a conversation with them. What else can you do? What else are you willing to do? If we need something, can we call you? Like literally I have a few numbers of people that I could have called to go and help in this situation. But the handyman that I use all the time, quite frequently, that comes through for us on a consistent daily basis, and my cleaner, like they got it resolved with no issue. The guests aren't feeling like, oh my God, these people try to attack me. We were just legit trying to make sure they were okay. And like, let her understand, like, you don't have it until Tuesday. You are supposed to check out today. So she's gone. I don't know what's going on with her and her husband. The other guest, he is all squared away into another unit, and he don't have to deal with this drama or a dirty unit. And yeah, still waiting on Airbnb to call us, but it's resolved now. My cleaning, it is all resolved now. Okay, Thea. We built a team, like an internal team here in Maryland, for our cleaners that feel like is in control of. That's his thing now. But y'all, the backbone of your business will be your cleaning team, having some other boots on the ground, and then just customer service, right? I never try to approach it like people, unless you see someone like trying to have a party or trying to squat, right? That you may want to approach it differently. You never know really what's going on inside of people's head or their situation. So I didn't want to approach her like, oh, you're trying to get over on me. Like, no. We just by the time we did talk to her, we just had a real open conversation with her. And she didn't know that she was supposed to be leaving today, but they packed up and they left, and everything is all squared away. So that's the end of it. That's what happened. All right, guys. Have a good day.